and the effect on the company if this disabled veteran is running his own small business. There's just way too many dangers here to take a chance on implementing this proposal.
I didn't think of that. We're talking to the commander of the American Legion, David K. Rabin. I didn't think of that. Businesses guaranteed, if they knew I'm going to take a veteran on with a job who's going to have huge insurance costs on our whole plan, with small businesses especially, that would prejudice people against hiring veterans.
It certainly would. It certainly would. We think that if a veteran walked into the business, even if he was the most qualified, that might be the deciding factor as to who gets the job. Just the potential effect on the employer's insurance costs.
Now, you were in the meeting with the sorry, go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
No, you're in the meeting with the president. He was trying to. Who was doing the selling? The president or his chief of staff, Emanuel, or was it Shinseki? Who was pushing this in the meeting?
All of the discussion at the meeting, the primary discussion came from the president. Chief of Staff Emanuel carried part of the discussion. The VA Secretary, General Shinseki, said very little during the meeting. He was present, but there wasn't much discussion coming from the Secretary.
What was his body? Sorry, go ahead.
The thing that did surprise us and disappointed us, frustrated those of us from the veterans organizations, the president did not wish the discussion, and he stopped the discussion a couple of times from addressing that fundamental responsibility of the government to take care of, not only to provide the treatment, but to pay for it. The discussion focused strictly on the money, on the financial aspects, and where the money was going to come from.
So I'm getting from what you're saying, he didn't want to be on record seconding the fact that the military's always been promised continual health care. And when you were saying you support that, don't you, Mr. President, he was noncommittal?
Yes. A couple of the folks in the meeting tried to address that issue, and that discussion came to a halt fairly quickly at the president's request. Strictly to focus on the money aspect.
That is outrageous. So he was dehumanizing the issue away from the troops. I mean, that is outrageous. So that clearly gives us a bird's eye view into the mind of where they're trying to take policy. Any other little interesting pieces of intelligence from the meeting, sir?
No, not from that one in particular. There was the suggestion made that if the organizations did not agree with this, if we were strongly opposed, that if the organizations would make some other suggestions as to where this money could be either saved or additional sources of income, that the administration was willing to listen to those. That left me a little uneasy, because I don't see it as the responsibility of the veterans organizations to partner with the government in making those kinds of plans.
That's right. You're lobbying, an organization, a fraternal organization, guardians of the veterans. And what you're saying, I don't want to put words in your mouth, is that there was an attempted co-opting going on here, a little bit of stroking to get you to, quote, help them. Obama cut, 4 or 5 smart bombs out of the budget. That's your $500 million.
I think that's an accurate assessment of what was going on. What they were asking for was strictly ideas based on veterans health care and the VA, and there's a couple of them out there. The American Legion has advocated for a long time that we don't see why a Medicare-eligible veteran that's going to the VA medical centers for non-service connected treatment, why Medicare should not be able to be billed and to bring some money back into the VA that way. We think there'd be new money come into the VA that's currently being spent out on private doctors, if that possibility was allowed. Currently, the VA cannot bill Medicare. That's law. That would require a change in the law.
Yeah, and that's government money to begin with, so I don't see the problem with that.
That we don't either. We've advocated that position for I would say probably somewhere between 5 and 10 years now. That's not a brand new idea. That's
more money. For a long time. That's more options for better care for the troops.
Yes. Yep.
Any other key points that were going on in this meeting? And then we'll go into Chapter 2 here in the time we have left with the head of the VA, who's been nice enough to join us here. Anything else in the meeting that people should be made aware of? And was there anything good that you agreed with that the president or his chief of staff said?
Only that the president was very clear that there would be treatment for these people, that there was never any doubt that treatment for service-connected disabilities would happen in the VA medical care system, and it would be very good treatment. The President, Vice President Biden, and Mrs. Obama have all been very clear about how much they care about military and the military's families. So he wanted us to understand this, that there was never any question about whether or not treatment would happen in the VA. It would.
But it would take it away from their families with the cap.
That possibility exists, yes. There was some discussion of a test program, a pilot program in maybe 2 states to see what the effect would be on premiums and lifetime caps and employability. But frankly, those of us in the organizations, myself as commander of the American Legion, I'm not willing to take that risk.
Well, we know what they do.
Those veterans that have service-connected disabilities, they and their families have sacrificed enough. We don't need to run a test program and run the risk that they would be sacrificing even more to find out things that we're pretty sure would be going to happen.
Well, we know that's a government trick all over the world to just say it's a test to kind of kill opposition, and then they roll it out saying, "Oh, our test worked great. Now we're going to do it."
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. You've seen things studied and studied and studied, and the study never seems to get over.
What was his body language, or what did he? He was saying, "Hey, I don't want to talk about this being, right or something," and not wanting to commit to that, but then saying, "I won't take their health care away." Sounds like doublespeak. What was his? How was he trying to co-opt or get you guys what it sounds like to sell out the veterans in a way to, well, help me cut their benefits somehow, or help me save this money somehow?
Yeah, that was. I'm not good at reading body language. I don't dare give an interpretation there because there's
Sure.
a chance that I might be mistaken. But he was very clear this was about the money, and can you as organizations come up with ways to help supply this money?
All right, sir, we've got a quick break. Come back with 5 more minutes with you to talk about the good news from talking to the Congress, and now with a new statement today by Gibbs, the White House press secretary. They're claiming they're backing off of this for now. So we'll finish up with the head of the American Legion, Commander David K.
Attention gardeners, this is an urgent GCN self-reliance update. GCN has just discovered a new bioactive superfood for garden plants, flowers, and herbs. It's called ProtoGrow, and it's so effective at producing rapid plant growth that it seems to almost force plants to grow like crazy under practically any soil and light conditions. Now, here's the best part for our listeners who garden for self-reliance. ProtoGrow's unique blend of sea nutrients maximizes mineral uptake and dramatically increases bloom set, creating maximum plant growth in minimum time. ProtoGrow works by providing geometric keys which have the capacity to actually unlock the genetic code for nutritional uptake in plants. ProtoGrow's full spectrum plant fertility means fruits and vegetables with extraordinary taste and up to 10 times the nutritional value. And if you want to double or triple the potency of herbs or wheatgrass, you can. If you want to grow nutritionalized superfoods with non-hybrids, it's now easy. GCN listeners who want to grow dirt sheet superfoods should visit the ProtoGrow website at growlikecrazy.com. That's www.growlikecrazy.com or call 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365.
In the New World Order's war against humanity, Barack Obama is the tip of the spear.
We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
The Obama deception completely destroys the myth that Obama is working for the best interest of the American people.
Well, Obama's already fudging. He's fudged since day one in this election.
If you have a demagogue with a fanatical mass movement of personality cultists who is imposing the program of a group of extreme bankers and finance oligarchs, that's fascist.
It's not about left or right. It's about a one-world government. This film documents who Obama works for, the lies he has told, and his real agenda. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com or download it in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. The Obama Deception. The people strike back.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds, It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-22.